The lost mission, the file, arrived on Dr. Sarah Chen's desk without ceremony. A thin manila envelope marked only with a date, March 15, 1959. Inside, a single photograph showed 5 people in pressure suits standing before a rocket that officially never existed. Sarah had spent 15 years working for NASA's historical archives, cataloging forgotten documents and debunking conspiracy theories. But this was different. The photograph's classification stamps were authentic. The rocket design matched no known prototype, and the faces of the crew members, Commander James Holloway, Navigator Elena Petrov, Engineer Marcus Webb, Communications Officer Alice Tran, and Mission Specialist David Santos, stared back at her with the confident smiles of people who had no idea they were about to disappear from history. The accompanying documents were sparse. Launch date, March 22, 1959. Mission objective, redacted. Final contact, 47 hours post-launch. Status, classified. Sarah knew she should report this immediately. Instead, she spent the next 3 weeks following a trail of breadcrumbs scattered across decades of archived materials. A requisition order for unusual shielding materials. A budget allocation buried in the Defense Department's 1958 spending report. A single paragraph in a retired Air Force colonel's memoir, later redacted from all subsequent editions, mentioning the crew we lost to the void. The breakthrough came when she discovered a reel-to-reel tape in a box labeled Equipment Malfunction Tests, 1959. The label was wrong. What she heard when she played it made her hands shake. The transmission began normally enough, standard status reports, systems checks, coordinates. Commander Holloway's voice was calm, professional. Then, at the 46-hour mark, everything changed. Mission Control, we're reading something on our scopes. It's massive. Easily 10 times the size of our craft. No, 20 times. It's not responding to our transmissions. Static crackled. When the transmission resumed, Holloway's voice had changed. The professional calm had fractured into something raw. They've disabled our systems. We're being pulled toward Jesus Christ. The hull is opening. I can see lights inside. Structures. It's a city. A goddamn city floating in space. Then came the voice that shouldn't exist. It spoke English, but the cadence was wrong, syllables stretched too long, consonants clicking in impossible ways. The words were familiar, but the throat that shaped them had never been human. Do not fear. You are witnessed. You are known. The transmission cut out. For 3 minutes, there was only silence. When it returned, it was Alice Tran speaking, her voice eerily calm. Mission Control, this is Communications Officer Tran. We are intact, unharmed. They brought us inside their vessel. The technology here is beyond anything I can describe. They're showing us things, star charts, equations, glimpses of worlds we never imagined. Commander Holloway says to tell you we're okay, but we can't come back. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Another voice joined in, Elena Petrov's Russian accent thick with emotion. Tell my mother I'm sorry. Tell her I'm seeing things humanity won't discover for 1,000 years. Tell her it's worth it. The final words came from that inhuman voice again. They will return when your species is ready to meet us as equals. Keep them alive in your memories. They are not prisoners. They are students. Then, nothing. Decades of nothing. Sarah sat in the archives listening room, the tape spinning silently on its reel. She thought about the families who were told their loved ones had died in a training accident. About the 5 faces in that photograph, frozen in time, smiling at a future they'd never see the way they expected. She began writing her report, knowing it would likely be classified the moment she submitted it. But halfway through, she stopped. On her screen, a new email notification appeared. No sender. No subject line. Just a file attachment. Her cursor hovered over it for a long moment before she clicked. The video was grainy, time-stamped 3 weeks ago. It showed 5 figures in a white room with walls that seemed to shift and breathe. They were older, 70 years older, but unmistakable. Commander Holloway's hair was white, his face deeply lined, but his eyes held the same sharp intelligence from the photograph. The others flanked him, looking healthy, impossibly healthy for people in their 90s. "If you're seeing this," Holloway said, his voice still strong, "then you've found the truth. We want you to know we're alive. We're being treated well, better than well. They're teaching us things, preparing humanity." Elena Petrov stepped forward. "We've watched Earth from here. We've seen wars end and begin. We've seen you reach the moon, build space stations, send probes to the edge of the solar system. You're getting closer. They say we can come home soon," Alice Tran added. "Maybe in our lifetimes. Maybe in yours. When humanity is ready not just to discover we're not alone, but to accept what that means." Marcus Webb, who had remained silent, finally spoke. "Tell people we're not victims. We're ambassadors. The first, but not the last." David Santos smiled, and Sarah noticed his hand rested on something that looked like a control panel, though it defied any engineering logic she understood. "We miss Earth. We miss our families. But we've been given something precious, a purpose, a mission that transcends any single lifetime. We're building a bridge between worlds." The camera angle shifted, and Sarah's breath caught. Through a viewport behind them, she could see Earth, blue and white and achingly beautiful, but wrong. The continents were in different positions. This wasn't recent footage. It couldn't be. Holloway moved back into frame. "To whoever finds this, don't mourn us. Don't bury this truth again. We're out here, waiting. We're learning. And when we come back, and we will come back, we'll bring humanity a gift. The knowledge that we were never meant to be alone in this universe." The video ended. Sarah stared at the blank screen for a long time. She thought about the families who deserved to know, about the historical record that had been deliberately erased, about 5 people who had been gone for 66 years but were impossibly still alive somewhere beyond the stars. She saved the video file and began typing a new report. This one would be different. This one would include everything: the photograph, the tape, the video. Let them try to classify it. Let them try to bury it again. Her phone rang. Unknown number. "Dr. Chun," a voice said when she answered. Male, older, carefully neutral. "We're aware of what you found. Before you do anything hasty, you should know that Commander Holloway and his crew made a choice. They asked us to keep their mission secret until humanity was ready." "And who decides when that is?" Sarah demanded. A long pause. "They do. The signal you received was sent with their approval. They think it's time. We're inclined to agree, but it has to be handled carefully. The world isn't ready for proof of alien contact dropped on social media. So what do you want? We want you to help us prepare the disclosure. Slowly, carefully, with proper context. In return, you'll have access to everything. The full mission logs, the technical data, ongoing communications. You'll be part of the first contact team when they return." "When?" Sarah asked. "When are they coming back?" "Soon. Maybe 5 years. Maybe 10. They're teaching us, too, you see. Preparing us. Making sure that when Commander Holloway and his crew finally set foot on Earth again, they'll be landing in a world that won't tear itself apart from the revelation." Sarah looked at the photograph on her desk. 5 faces, 5 people who had walked into history and disappeared, who were still out there, somewhere, waiting. "I want to talk to them," she said. "Directly. That can be arranged." Sarah Chun closed her laptop and stood, walking to the window. Above the city lights, stars glittered in the darkness. Somewhere up there, 5 people who should have been dead were alive, learning the secrets of the universe, waiting for the day they could come home. And now, finally, after 66 years of silence, their wait might be almost over. She thought about what she would say when she spoke to them, about the families who still mourn them, about the world that had forgotten them. Most of all, she thought about the question that kept echoing in her mind. What had they learned out there? What would they bring back? What gift could possibly justify 66 years away from home? She supposed she would find out soon enough. The stars offered no answers, but for the first time in her career, Sarah Chun was okay with that. Some mysteries were worth waiting to solve. 3 months later, a press conference would be held. Documents would be declassified. The world would learn about the crew of the unnamed mission, still alive, still learning, preparing to return. And in a vessel that had orbited Earth's solar system for over 6 decades, 5 people would watch the announcement and smile, knowing their vigil was finally ending. Ready to go home? Commander James Holloway would ask his crew. Been ready for 66 years, Elena Petrov would reply. Then let's show them what we've learned, Alice Tran would add. And the ship would begin its journey back to Earth, carrying 5 people and the knowledge that would change humanity forever.